At the beginning, it was totally blurry. I really didn't know where I would end up.
You're rank 6.
Yes.
There's 3 of you. It's you, Rob, and Gab.
Hey, it's me, Basti's Lightbulb.
Funding the fellowship, right?
That's for sure.
To put a price tag on that.
The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Space Monkeys blasting off with Bastian Köcher. He's a rank 6 member of the Fellowship, a core developer of Polkadot. Basti, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
You've been part of building Polkadot for many years now. You started at Parity
in September 2018, so almost more than 5 years ago.
So tell us what was happening at Parity at that time. Was it Substrate was just coming onto the scene?
I think they started like 1 year ago, like at the beginning of 2018, end of 2017. But as I started, it was quite early and quite rough code base. I mean, it's probably still quite a rough code base or whatever you want to call it, but it was like, it was a funny time for me. I mean, like I came here and didn't have any knowledge about blockchain. It was.
What were you doing before?
Before I was working for some kind of startup. The idea was like. I mean, it was similar, like liberate your IoT devices. So like, I mean, if you have a light bulb and you like a Philip Hue or whatever, and I think they already done it, no? They turned or shut off the servers or whatever. And that's shitty because like if you buy it and you want to use it and there's no reason why you need to have a server in between if you want to turn on your light bulb. Like the idea was like, but if you're in the local network with the same light bulb, you can just press a button on your phone and it directly connects to this thing and does it. And
it makes so much more sense. What the hell?
The startup was like actually coming from another startup before where I was also working, and they had like these kind of routers, and that was the first job I learned Rust for. Then it was like, I think July or August 2018 where I was start looking for a new job, and like I wanted to continue working in Rust, and I was searching for something that's in Berlin or remote, and I found Parity, and it was like I think the first time I, for example, heard about Gav was before I had like he was doing like the final interview, and then I was like googling him, and I thought, who's this guy? I never heard like I knew Ethereum, I knew Bitcoin, I had like some shit coins maybe before, and so I knew that this stuff exists and all this kind of thing, but I wasn't that really deep into that, like especially not on the technology side.
Why do you think they hired you? What do you think they saw in you?
I don't. It's a good question. I don't know. I think it was probably because I knew Rust, and like my stuff was like the company before was also already doing like some open source stuff, so we could already look into my things I had done. And I started, and then first day I was talking. Like Gav was my kind of, it was called buddy or whatever at this time. So like that was my beginning at Substrate.
So Gav has this vision for what Substrate is supposed to be, and he brings you on and basically is like, okay, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. So you're kind of trying to put together Gav's vision in the beginning.
Yes. I mean, it was like he had like, Gav was always writing like these kind of big issues or whatever, what needs to be done. And I was just like, at the beginning, I was mainly just doing like, hey, okay, that needs to be done. And January or February 2019, Gav introduced me like to Cumulus. I mean, he introduced you to this concept of like collators, parachains. It was not really introducing; it was more like on a high level, or how it should, what's the idea is how it should work. And it was like so much new stuff for me. I didn't really know. Like then I tried to read like the Polkadot paper. I think in the original Polkadot paper there's like one paragraph about like collators, what a collator is. It was like, okay, but what I need to do. It was like. Quite abstract, but I mean, like from that point on, then I made my way up to delivering Cumulus, or to make sure that Cumulus works.
Did it strike you what the potential of Polkadot was? Did you understand the importance of what you were building?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay.
It's quite. I don't have. I think I have to admit, I also didn't read the entire Polkadot paper, but I mean, like only like the parts which were like interesting to me. Yeah. And I mean, like, this entire idea of like decentralization. I mean, it's like it was not created by blockchains or whatever. So like the company I worked before, like was liberating these IT devices. I mean, at the end, we also came to a point. Okay, who is actually like you need to discover these devices, and that like means that you also need to have like some kind of decentralized network, or like you need to have some network where like these light bulbs, all these kind of things can connect to and say, hey, it's me, Basti's light bulb, and so that I can discover them or whatever. I mean, what's currently done by the centralized server, but I mean, like, it shouldn't be done by a centralized server. And so even there, we had like in the end coming to this point. Okay, but how is that like actually how you're getting paid and all these kind of things? And we're also like already looking into like these kind of or like into Ethereum or whatever at this point. So and then even before, like, I think decentralized or like open source, like with Linux, I'm using Linux now since I don't know like really full time, probably 2011 or whatever. Now like since 12 years or whatever. And as I like a lot of people were always like, yeah, why are you using Linux? And I mean, like, but I like the idea, and I'm standing behind it. That all of it is open source. You can check it out, review it if you like, or you can even fix your own bugs and all these kind of things. I think that's a great idea. And also with these like back to blockchains and decentralization. And I mean, we already see in some countries, for example, where it's like they try to censor your stuff and you cannot read what you want, all these kind of things. So it's like there's a value in it, and I think we can probably hopefully help doing these kind of things.
Back on your journey at Parity here, Gavin introduced you to Cumulus. Can you break down, simplify what Cumulus is and what role it plays in Polkadot for us?
Yes. So Cumulus is like if you take Substrate is like the building blocks for Polkadot. So like the foundation, whatever you want to call it for Polkadot. So that means like we had like these two separate code bases. We had like the Polkadot node and we had like Substrate. And now if you want to write a parachain, I mean, it makes that is one of the reasons why Substrate exists, because like if you want to have all these people writing their own chains, it doesn't make sense if all of them start at zero again, at scratch. So like my job was then like to take like these kind of interfaces that like Polkadot provides and make Substrate like ready to be able to write a Substrate-based chain that can run as a parachain on top.
Wait, which part is Cumulus?
It's just taking these like bits and pieces that exist and connects them together in the correct way. So for example, a good thing is like when you have like, for example, Polkadot, like what is the best block or whatever is like defined by Babe, and each block has a weight and like what is the longest chain and all these kind of things. Then you find out what is the best block. If you want to find out what's your best block of your parachain, you actually need to find out what is the best block of the relay chain, and then look into the relay chain state and get out what is the best block of your parachain. So like this Substrate defines like these kind of, in Rust you call them traits. Its interface is more like a common name or whatever, these kind of interfaces, and Cumulus provides these implementation for these interfaces. So like you can do this kind of things in Polkadot.
Okay, so you designed Cumulus, or this was an idea, this was an issue that Gav came up with, and then you were able to implement it?
So like when I started working on Cumulus, the repo already existed. It was Rob had like pushed there some things. I don't know when, but it was like there were some things existing already from Rob. I took over that, and then I've done a lot of things. So for example, like these, one of the biggest things is probably like the validation. So like the parachain builds this block and then sends the block to the relay chain, and then the relay chain needs to validate that the state transition is valid. And for that, the relay, like the parachain registers like a WebAssembly blob at the relay chain that is like that you can execute, or like that exposes a function. They put in like this POV that's coming from the parachain or the block, and we execute it. If the execution is like successfully, then it's like, hey, that was a valid state transition, and so that was like probably the biggest part that
that you added.
Yeah, that we added. Yeah. But like the point is like as we were using Substrate, like I needed to touch also a lot of things on Substrate, like either refactor, like break them apart, like to make them. Like to make it work for the relay chain, to make it work for parachains, like all these kind of things. So
when was the moment where you became, I mean, in your eyes, like a core contributor? How do you define that?
I think it already
identity?
happened in 2019. I don't know.
Okay.
I cannot tell you exactly when, but I mean, like I know that already. Like then at this point, a lot of people relied on me and doing this kind of things. So, but I mean, like it was also like at this point, like the Parity culture, like we were like a small team, and everyone, like you could like, and like everyone can do whatever they want. and as long as they do something for the mission, like for Polkadot or whatever. So like, and it was like didn't exist any team or whatever, at least not in engineering side. Like we all were just working towards this goal of delivering Polkadot. So like
just whatever you thought was necessary.
I mean, like we had like this, as I had like this, for me, I had this grand vision, grand goal of, hey, Cumulus needs to work. Whatever that means. I mean, at the beginning, it was totally blurry. I really didn't know where I would end up. It was like me just doing like small steps until I got where it is today or whatever. But I mean, like as I thought, I didn't have like really no blockchain experience, so I didn't know where I was going and like needed to learn a lot of things. And
this is somebody recently. We'll keep them anonymous, but I asked the question like, who's the best engineer at Parity? And they said it was you. And I said, why is it Bastian? And they said, because of his trajectory, he came in and then suddenly he was right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm quite committed to my things, and I'm also trying to be quite giving the best and delivering like all these kind of things. I mean, like nobody is perfect or whatever, and I mean that's fine. But I mean, like I try to do the best and like give the best. And like,
I don't know, was it 2021 Decoded or 2022 Decoded where Gavin started speaking about this idea of the fellowship? Maybe it was 2022 actually, last year.
Yes.
A structure of developers that's actually separate from Parity.
Yes.
You're still part of Parity,
yes.
right? You're top rank, or not the top rank possible, but you're rank 6.
Yes.
There's 3 of you. It's you, Rob, and Gav.
Yeah, Gav is like you had this initial seeding.
Yeah, how did that work?
Like initial seeding was like mainly like people could make a PR to this repository and say, hey, it's me, with like some kind of like a reputation, like what you have done, like PRs and all these kind of things, and saying why you should get a certain rank and all this.
So you applied to be rank 6?
Yes, I applied to rank 6.
Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't like I think first I didn't do it. I think first I was only playing for 5, but then I was talking to some people, and I mean then they said, okay, you should go. And but what I want to say is like Gav actually is like rank 7, but rank 7 requires like a public referendum or whatever.
Right. Yeah, you're all at the ceiling right now, but you can move up with.
You can up with, but you need a public referendum or whatever.
Does rank 7 have authority that rank 6 doesn't have?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like every rank has like your. If you go then down to frame, like every rank can do like this kind of have a different kind of origin, like this origin, like when you for example like the fellowship also has like their own kind of referenda. So like if we want to like whitelist something, there's a referenda, and you need to like for that you for example need to be at least rank 3, so a fellow with like higher ranks you get higher also, like you can vote for certain things.
What else can you do? Can you pull up people up the ranks? Like can you like pull someone up to rank 2 from rank 1?
Yes, but I mean it also requires a referendum. So like
every step requires not a public referendum. You mean referendum within the fellowship?
In the fellowship. Yeah, in the fellowship.
Gotcha.
So like that's what also like that's what's now should come in the near future. Like I mean like there will be like a salary for the fellowship people.
Yeah.
And like also one thing, like your rank defines what is your salary you're getting, and then I think it's like every 6 months or whatever you need to do some kind of work report of saying what you've done to it's a little bit then I think comparable to the
society. Kappa Sigma Mu. You don't have a tattoo?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, me neither.
But no, they would probably have thrown me out. But so society, where you also like, you always need to like defend yourself, like show an image that that you still have the tattoo and all these kind of things. And here would like a work report where you can then say, okay, that is what I've done, and you can then either apply for like staying at the rank or like going up, and like then these other fellowship members need to like judge based on the work you have done if you should go up or like and if you for example then don't do anything, you automatically go down.
If you don't submit a report,
if you don't submit a report, then you go down.
Oh, interesting. So what if you're like rank 1, you don't submit a report, you're just out?
And then you go rank 0, and then probably after rank 0 you probably get kicked. I don't know. I would need to check the implementation. But
right.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, because I was kind of interested in that. How do we shed people from the fellowship? Because the fellowship's already over 50 people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the bigger it is, the better it is. Like the more decentralized. I mean, like the entire idea of it is like more that there is no, like if you look back to the old governance one or whatever, where you had like the technical council, like I cannot say that I was part of it, but or like what was not really, I was more like part of the multisig in Parity that could vote on certain things. And if you think about it, it required you to way less people to you need to get hold on to approve something. And like now with the fellowship, the more actually the better, because like the more people are, the more like the harder it's get for you to if you're like, I don't know, US Central Intelligence and whatever, want to get someone or like get control over Polkadot. You need to get more people to do that. I mean, that's part of the idea why more people are better, because like more people, more decentralized. And
what about the cost of the salaries, though? I mean, will that just keep?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's something that the government needs to decide.
Sort of balance, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting battle in governance. I think not battle, but discourse in governance is
for sure.
Is funding the fellowship, right?
That's for sure.
To put a price tag on that.
That will probably be a good.
That'll be fun. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on the dev call too.
That will, kind of fun. It will be.
Okay, you're still employed by Parity.
Yes.
Parity just had this decentralization thing, and I guess this was like the first planned aspect of that decentralization, right? This was the fellowship was the first part of that.
Yes.
I guess. Do you think eventually Parity will go away completely? Like, is that the idea?
Yeah, I think actually, like, it's more like depends on who you ask or what they think. But it's more like a Parity. It's like hopefully the ecosystem at some point is strong enough that Parity is just like one player in the field or on the field, and like it not have any special position or whatever, and it's like on the same page with everyone. I think that's a good goal. Mm-hmm. I think the idea more of Parity, like the goal of Parity is like to bootstrap Polkadot, and and then depending on like how it evolves or whatever, we see what it in the end will look like. If it will be go down, I don't know, but I mean, like, that's not in my hand, but or like if it just be like a player in the ecosystem, which would also make sense or whatever in a certain way. I think that's also what we should strive for, that Parity is not special or whatever, and it's more like we're all the same.
No doubt. So here you are with Gavin Robb at the top of the fellowship here. It seemed like you were kind of having trouble defining what your role is now. It sounds like you're maybe helping out maybe more junior members of the fellowship with what they're building. Are you like checking a lot of other people's work? Yeah, that's for sure. Like I'm overseeing a lot of things that's happening, like a lot of pull requests and all the things that's going in. And so you're in a bit of a manager role now, a little bit. I don't want to call it that way. Right. I mean, I'm still coding, and I try to. It always depends on like sometimes I code more, sometimes I'm more reviewing pull requests or whatever, or like the point is like someone has to review all these pull requests or like that. So. Yeah, I got you. And so, what are some of the big things coming down the pipelines here? So we just had version 1.0, right? Yes. What's the significance of that? Yeah, that we delivered like the white paper. I think only thing now is missing like the bridges or bridge between Kusama and Polkadot, and then we see like where now we have like these RFC process like where everyone can come up and hey, I have this idea, I want to change it, and I mean like bring a little bit more structure into the chaos, which is nice, because like people always complained like that we were making too many breaking chains, and like we also want to have multiple nodes or like multiple node implementation. I think like for example Gogoma and all, they're quite fine. I think I'm quite surprised because they're already like validating parachains, and I was quite surprised that they got there that fast. Oh. But yeah, that needs to be a little like there needs to be more structure into that, how we do these kind of changes to the core protocol, and but I think we're on a good way with these RFCs, and it's like Are you organizing this? Are you creating these systems? That's the thing that's not yet decided on how we want to do it. It's more, but it's more like that we have like a way to at least like
bring up proposal. Like everyone can bring up a proposal, and like I mean, it still requires that only the fellowship can only the fellowship can vote on it. That also means you need to be at least, or you need to find someone in the fellowship that can put your proposal to a referendum in the fellowship. But then most of the people can vote on it. When are we then doing this kind of upgrade, or when is this kind of thing is coming? Is that it's more like a different kind of process we didn't yet talked about.
Still deciding.
Still needs to be decided. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's coming from the bottom here, right?
Yeah. I think, but we need to see how we then maybe talk to CoreJam and see what they're thinking, and then okay, this is the changes we want to do, and what do you think? How long you take? How long you will need to do that? And
okay, so bridge still coming. You have your thumb on the bridge?
No, I was never really into that much into I'm seeing it on the side what's going on, but I mean like they are now pushing for that. I hope that it comes this year.
Okay.
So like you bring on the these kind of new session keys. So like we then need validators to all of them rotate their keys, and if like the majority is rotated keys, there can be a proposal to the Kusama governance to enable Beefy, and with Beefy you can have then the bridges.
At last.
So that's
so important.
Depending on how long it takes, but rough plan is probably hopefully that it maybe once at the end of the year, whatever, on Polkadot.
Okay,
Easy.
nice.
But yeah, for the bridges, I don't know, but I think it's like, as far as I know, they're only waiting that Beefy works, and then like, let's go.
Let's go, yeah. All right, bridges, nice. Blockspace?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Blockspace? How's it coming out?
I pushed a little bit on that, and I think I will see what we can do. But as I said, as we all said, that we try to do it at the end of the year that Rococo runs something. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the palette, or I think Geff finished the palette already quite some time ago. Some time ago. Joe worked on the parachain, so like we should probably get it there running and see how it does.
Crazy.
And then we can bring it to Kusama, and then Polkadot.
Yeah. What do you think about the CoreJam idea?
I mean, I'm named there as a co-author, but no, it's a great idea. It will take some time. I mean, people are a little bit I think a little bit too over-optimistic when it comes, but...
I see. Over-optimistic on the timeline?
No, over-optimistic on the timeline.
Okay.
I mean, it will also open up Polkadot more so that you probably can run more diversified or whatever use cases, but it's not going to heal cancer or whatever. It's not going to fix all the things or whatever. So I think for now, also as Parity or whatever, parts of Parity, we also need to focus on the dev experience and all this to make it easier for people to build on Polkadot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big focus now, right?
Yeah, and so, that's what we want to shift from, or make a quite big shift for that. But CoreJam comes in the future, and I think it's something we need to keep track on, and also tell people about it. And also people should, for example, whatever you build now, it will probably. I'm 1990 or 99% sure that it will continue running there. So if you build a parachain now, maybe it will require some kind of changes, or you need to do a runtime upgrade or whatever. But I mean, it should work with CoreJam. It's not that we let it fall down or whatever. So I heard some voices, and maybe now it's a good idea to say that's not going to happen. So whatever you're building now, it will continue to work, or there will be some kind of upgrade path that shouldn't be complicated.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I think it will open up some nice possibilities, but it's that's for the future. And if we look at today, it's probably not. It's not happening. No.
Right, it's not happening now. Well, what's kind of it's so early though, but kind of what's the biggest obstacle you see right now to implementing it?
From an engineering perspective, I think it's possible. I don't think it's not impossible. It's more we need to see how we are putting a big bet on RISC-V, so a new architecture, so not WebAssembly instead RISC-V instead. I mean, we have this Jan. He's working for me. He's building this kind of compiler. He's I don't know how he's doing it. He's he's really crazy.
Who is it?
Jan. His name is Jan.
Okay.
Jan, and he's like, he has built this Polkadot Polka VM, and he I posted it like that he can run.
Doom, you're playing Doom on it.
They're playing Doom on it. It's like he's like. He written this compiler, and it's like he's a really good guy, and he's like
nice.
I don't know, like he has so much. I assume that he has a time machine because like he has he goes away and then comes back, and it's like where did it take?
Is it possible that it's your younger self coming back in time and helping you do this?
Yanni's already here since 2020. So like I didn't even. I think I also didn't have that much time back then. I don't know. He's like it's like because like he's like really on these crazy hardware machine stuff and like but yeah he's cool. I think we're putting a big bet on that, and I think it's working already. It's more like we need these weight metering to like find out how long, like a deterministic way to find out how long something or like how costly it is to run something, and that's like that's a currently, for example, with Frame, you have like these benchmarking. That's like also like a big pain point. Like you need to have all these benchmarking infrastructure, run your benchmarks before to know, okay, this thing runs like 10 milliseconds on the standard hardware. So like that's like it has a rate of 10 milliseconds, easily speaking. And with these deterministic rate metering, it's then more like Ethereum, where you like say, okay, this costs like 1,000 gas, and then you just let it run, and if it cost more than 1,000 gas, it just aborts. I mean, that's from a user perspective, and also from a developer's perspective, it's more easy because like you don't need to care that much. It's like quite easy. You don't need to do all this benchmarking, all these kind of things. But if you want to do it in a big scale, like we for runtimes or like for actual blockchains or whatever, it needs to be like. I don't know how slow it is on Ethereum, but I think it's quite slow if you for. And we want to have it quite fast. But Jan also has like these kind of ideas how he can speed it up. And I think he's starting now to work on it and see how it goes.
Bas, do you have any advice for any young devs? Maybe they even just came through the PBA who are looking at Polkadot. They want to contribute to it. But I don't know, maybe they need to build reputation, get their name out there. How do people contribute to Polkadot in a meaningful way that could possibly get them onto the fellowship with you one day?
There's one guy I cannot but I cannot say like Sego. I probably said this wrong.
The young guy, the 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, exactly. I think we already spoke. I don't. But yeah, he's quite. He came into like I don't know. I think started end of last year, or whatever, coming out of nowhere, and were doing like pull requests to our code base, and they were like quite good. And he was like at this point like some random guy coming from nowhere, and like I was then going to Kian and saying, can we not hire him? And he said, yeah, I tried to, but he's like 16 years old or whatever. So like, it's not possible. And I said, okay, you should take a look at him. But he made it. Like he came in and he showed like that he wanted to, like he contributed on his own. I get that it's like, I think it's, if you come from the outside, it's probably like we're also not that good at like having entry level issues. I mean, there are some. But for all of them, you need to have quite a lot of either time or like confidence that you want to do them. And I think like just having the confidence and doing these things, and even if you start small and doing these like small issues or whatever, and I acknowledge it's quite hard to get into that, but it's like doing contributions over the ecosystem also to other places, or see where they have like kind of pain points and all these kind of things, and then also contribute back to our stuff or whatever. I think it's
okay. Look at the code base, look at issues, and try to fix problems.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's I know. A lot of people say that's like Basti. That's a quite technical view on.
Well, who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
But quite technical people. The best people are building Polkadot, right?
Yeah. But I think also getting like involved into the community, and I wouldn't say there's like a template path you can take. It's more like it requires that you like. Currently, it's probably still like requires that you want to do it, that you want to contribute, and that you're like really standing behind it, and then get on and do the thing and see what's out there. I mean, like you can probably go to the issue tracker, and there are like tons of issues people are reporting. And I mean, like if you come up and like even with something that some external people reported and fix it, I mean, it's quite hard, or maybe quite hard. But I mean, I think it shows that you're that you're dedicated or whatever, and to do that, I think it's quite nice.
That's awesome. Well, Bastian, thank you so much for your dedication to Polkadot and building up Polkadot. I don't know where we'd be if Parity didn't find you and you came in and picked up all these pieces. You're one of many people who are making Polkadot possible. So
yes.
Thanks very much for all the work you do. And thank you for coming on the show and sharing it. I'll see you at the next Open Dev call.
Yeah, see you.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.